Previously on Gears.
Time to look at the world of motor racing and Formula One. Didn't have much. Well, yeah, we spoke quite a bit yesterday about Le Mans. And, of course, now we look forward to the Silverstone Grand Prix, the British Grand Prix this weekend. You excited, Daisy?
Very excited.
I'm very, very, very excited. The one thing that was concerning me if I was meant to fly to Las Vegas over this weekend was what was I going to do on Sunday morning to find somewhere that would show the Formula One.
And you would have had so many adverts.
I know, that would have been the problem. At least here in South Africa we don't have adverts.
Yeah, we've got quality here.
Quality presenters. Gee whiz.
Well, they're the best.
They are world class. Now, following on from, Formula One is tries to be extremely safe. And they continue all the time in all forms of motorsport to try and make it safer and safer. And they've just said that the 2014 designed Formula One cars will improve protection in the case of an oblique angle of impact. Now, the oblique angle of impact is, I think, what happened to the very unfortunate Alan Simonsen at Le Mans over the weekend. That just the way the car hit the barrier was just extremely unfortunate for him. If it had been like 20 centimeters to the left or 20 centimeters to the right, more than likely could have been okay. But just because the way that the angle at which the car hit the barrier unfortunately led to the fatality.
Sash, was his family there?
I don't believe his family were there.
Okay.
No. But Dave Richards, who heads up the Aston Martin organization in racing, and Aston Martin, got onto the phone with them and asked, hey, once he was pronounced dead, said, listen, what do you want? And they basically said, listen, we want you to continue and try and win. And unfortunately, they didn't win for him. But, everyone paid tribute to what happened. Looking more in Formula One, of course, we got the news last week of the, pathetic punishment that was handed out to Mercedes-Benz and to Pirelli for the illegal test that took place, which is just finding very, very peculiar, because if you read the statements, they were found guilty of doing an illegal test and they basically got a slap on the wrist and said, oh no, you naughty people, now you can't go racing at the young drivers test for the 3-day test. Now, what is the young drivers test going to teach all of the other teams? So if I were the other teams, I would then get the young drivers' test helmets and put them on the regular drivers and let them drive the cars.
That's clever.
And then get the information that they want. Because with all due respect, the young driver test goes out there, and these guys, yes, they do have a program to fulfill for the various teams, which I fully understand and I respect, and it's great to see these young drivers having the opportunity. But those young drivers, all drivers have a different way of driving a car. They have a different feel. They want some drivers want more front end. Some people want more rear end. Some people feel they like more oversteer cars. They like more understeer cars. Now, these young drivers are going to go out there and try and get the maximum out what they can get to also prove their worth, to show how good they are, so that teams in the future might be able to say, hey, that guy was very good. Let's put him in the car. Whereas if you're driving your own car that is made for you and you doing the test and you doing it with the tires, you then have the opportunity to sit there and go, I could feel there was a little bit of graining at this time. Then they check the temperatures and they check all of those things. They will do this nonetheless. But if it's your own car being driven by somebody else, you're going to get a slightly different piece of feedback. I suppose everyone has got their own ideas as to what punishment should have been meted out to Mercedes and to Pirelli, but it is done. So we might as well just move on. That's the most important thing. Mercedes says that the ban will hurt them because they're not allowed to be there. But they've had a 3-day test already. And amazingly, after that 3-day test, they were running magnificently. And they won Monaco. So it's all a little bit clouded at the moment. There seems to be a little bit of diggity-doo at the Williams team, where Pastor Maldonado, and let's be honest, the Williams car, unfortunately, is not good this year, the FW35. Pastor Maldonado says the FW35 suits Valtteri Bottas better than it suits him. I just sit there and think that Bottas has got his number, and Bottas is now beginning to show how good he really, really is. Let's just hope they can improve the car as well. This weekend, Lotus come with massive upgrades, their biggest upgrade of the year, and now they've got some new backing as well. Isn't this funny? Because the Red Bull team, Daisy, is the Infinity Red Bull Racing team. Infinity with an I. Okay. Lotus now is the Infinity with a Y Lotus team. Now, a couple of years ago, we had the Caterham Lotus team and the Lotus Caterham team. So it's all very complicated. Pirelli have come under a little bit of fire from Lotus. Lotus saying they're being too conservative. Pirelli have come out and said, you know what, we're not making any changes to the tires. This is how it goes. Let's hope we go. I'm not saying we need 4, 5, 6 stops or whatever, but let's just hope that it just muddles it up a little bit and we have a little bit more fun in the racing. Renault have released the pictures of their V6 Formula One engine, and I must tell you, it looks magnificent. Really, really good. They've also released the audio of the Renault 2014 engine as well, which I will play to you in a short while from now. So that's looking a little bit at the world of Formula One at the moment. I will play you the engine sound, but I'm also now going to show you, if you're watching, this is a comparison of the V10, the V8, and the 2014 V6 engines as put together by the one and very, very talented guitarist by the name of Mario Torrado. So have a listen and have a watch. That was the V10. Now he's tuning the guitar for the V8. If you're not watching, here's going to play the V8. Come on, Mario. And now, this is what he believes the 1500cc V6 is going to sound like next year. Quite talented, eh? As all three together.
That's awesome.
No. Which one do you like better? I like the V10.
I liked all of them.
The V6 I think is going to sound quite nice, even though it's going to be a turbo-driven engine. Formula One, of course, will make it sound proper as well. So, there we go. That's a look at the world of Formula One for this afternoon.
At the next intersection, turn on Gears with Sasha Martinengo. Weekdays from 12 to 2 p.m. Central African Time.